Boa tarde, então, pessoal. Nós estamos aqui com meu grande amigo, Sinisa Poznic, da Croácia. Nós tivemos alguns problemas de conexão no Instagram e definimos, então, fazer esse nosso encontro aqui pelo meeting, pelo Zoom Meeting, no qual a gente vai fazer o upload depois para a plataforma Instagram, para outras plataformas também. E o objetivo principal durante esses 30 minutos é nós conversarmos a respeito do PNF e de terapia manual, certo? Como é que vai funcionar? Eu e o Sinisa vamos falando na língua inglesa e quando houver necessidade, eu vou interrompê-lo, pedir para ele parar um pouquinho, para que eu possa fazer uma tradução numa versão rápida para vocês. Beleza? So, my friend Sinisa, welcome. Thank you. I'm so sorry for all the technical problems.
Yeah, it's just how it is. No problem, Land.
Yeah.
Thank you for inviting me for this kind of chat and interview.
Yeah, maybe it's a good opportunity to exchange in between countries.
Definitely. I'm glad that we are sharing knowledge.
Yeah, that's necessary. So we have 30 minutes. It's piece of cake, nothing very complicated. We need just to talk about yourself, who you are, what you work with, where you live. Just introduce yourself, feel free, whatever it takes, the time it takes. And then the main goal is to talk a little bit about your experience on PNF and manual therapy, my friend.
Okay, so I'm Sinisa Poznic. I'm Master of Science in Physiotherapy, and I live and work in Zagreb, the capital of Croatia, little country southeast of Europe, on the other side of Adriatic coast, and the other side is Italy. We are Slavic nation, and very often Slavic nation that eat Mediterranean food, which we are very lucky. I am a IPNFA basic instructor. I became instructor together with you, Leandro, my dear friend. You remember this time we became instructors in 2017 in Tokyo, Japan.
I'll never forget about that.
Yes, it's a life experience.
Yeah.
And also I am an orthopedic manual therapist from a Norwegian school, from founders that are called Fredrik Kaltenborn and Olaf Evient. Both are passed away nowadays. And I use this concept regularly every day. I have 22 years of clinical experience. Out of this, I worked in a general hospital for 17 years. And nowadays, I'm a owner of rehabilitation center and educational center, Rehab Pro, in Zagreb.
By the way, congratulations on this.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
I'm very much looking forward to meet your rehab center.
I'm very much looking forward to teach courses together in this rehabilitation center and educational center. What else? I treat patients regularly. Nowadays, unfortunately, I have been treating too many patients, unfortunately, because I have been working 12 hours per day by treating patients. So I have experience with adults mostly. I treat any kind of neurological patients diagnosis, and also any kind of orthopedic patients, non-operative or post-operative, the same neurological cases.
Can you
So
give me,
that's.
can you just give me 1 minute just to say in Portuguese what you're
Yes.
saying? Gente, então o Sinisa traz agora, ele está se apresentando, ele mora na Croácia, em Zagreb, e só para trazer para vocês a parte importante, ele trabalha tanto com fisioterapia ortopédica e neurológica, e a formação dele em terapia manual da escola noruega, da Noruega de terapia manual, e ele trabalha com muitos pacientes durante o dia, tá? Muitas horas de trabalho, tanto para pacientes ortopédicos, ele consegue resolver casos ortopédicos, quanto para pacientes neurológicos. E eu chamo aqui a atenção que é isso que a gente fala no PNF, né? Nós podemos lidar com todos os diferentes tipos de pacientes. Thanks, my friend.
Thank you. So let me say a couple of words about the subject of this meeting. When we talk about PNF concept, I consider that concept, and it's founded primarily for neurological patients. But I would put it in the brackets, neurological. So it was founded by a neurologist together with a physiotherapist in America, United States, and I looked at this concept primarily neurological, but also we can use all of the concept information in with orthopedic patients, and also children, adults, and in elderly. So PNF concept is about motor control, about motor learning, so learning of motoric skills, and consequently gaining motor control. What I like with PNF concept very much is these stages of motor control, and I use that with every patient, and I have it in my brain as a PNF philosophy.
It's a guideline, right?
Yeah, it's really a kind of elementary stuff in our brain of physiotherapists, and that means mobility first of patients, stability, mobility on top of stability, and gaining a skill. Mm-hmm. And what I realized maybe 10 years ago, that mobility means reducing spasticity with neurological patients. It's not only gaining a greater range of motion in the joints or relaxing muscles when we talk about orthopedic patients. Sorry.
So,
yeah.
Just 1 minute. Pessoal, traduzindo o que o Sinisa está dizendo, o PNF é muito sobre controle motor e aprendizagem motora, e nós temos aí diversas estratégias de controle e aprendizagem motora para melhorar a aprendizagem de movimentos. E uma delas que ele está trazendo são as 4 fases do controle motor. E ele começa falando sobre a primeira, que é a mobilidade, que, por exemplo, em pacientes neurológicos, a espasticidade é muito mais do que o controle da espasticidade é ganho de mobilidade, é muito mais do que ganhar um arco do movimento, mas sim o controle da espasticidade. Your turn.
And moreover, when we talk about PNF, and this is my favorite topic, I'm just a PNF physiotherapist for life. Moreover, PNF is training activities, is activity level. And when I will talk about manual therapy later, it will be a significant difference. So we tend to, or we are trained, PNF therapists, not to finish with every treatment without training activity level. So that's in our brain too, and I would say it's one more philosophy of PNF therapists to train after or during every treatment to finish with activity level. So it's about training activities very much. Nowadays, I train, of course, gait. If the gait is a problem, that's very common goal of the patient. So I train whatever problem of the patient is. With a more difficult patient, very often is enough to train just sit to stand or standing. With usually, so it's gait, but nowadays I can train jumping if this is a goal of the patient, or I train a running if I have a younger patient or even older patient that are used to run in recent history. So, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Então, pessoal, o Sinisa traz para a gente algo super importante do PNF, que nós trabalhamos indissociavelmente do conceito PNF, é o treino das tarefas, das atividades. Então, ele está dando exemplo, muitas vezes é marcha, que é uma queixa muito comum dos pacientes, algumas vezes é sentado para de pé, mas no caso de pacientes ortopédicos pode ser salto ou corrida. E nós precisamos finalizar o trabalho sempre com essas atividades. Isso é o que o PNF fala. E o Sinisa, em algum momento, comentou que depois ele vai falar sobre como é na terapia manual. Thank you, friend.
So, yeah, and of course, we cannot just train activities if we don't influence body functions. So, because of that, I consider PNF very up-to-date and modern, very new concept in physiotherapy, because of integrating modern rehabilitation framework, which is called ICF. And so we start usually with treating body functions or dysfunctions, and then connecting it with different activities. And in that way, we use motor learning to change something, to change some behaviors, and to make activities more efficient, and to make performances more efficient. You can translate.
Yeah, sure. So, sorry, I was gonna talk in English. Então, pessoal, o Sinisa traz que, na verdade, o PNF é um conceito de vanguarda nesse sentido, é muito moderno, porque, obviamente, nós precisamos treinar essas tarefas e atividades, mas nós precisamos iniciar pelas disfunções corporais, ou seja, a melhora das estruturas como força, mobilidade, que nem ele estava falando antes, são necessárias para depois nós podermos chegar nas atividades. Yeah, your turn.
And I would say one more very nice feature of PNF, and it is also part of the philosophy of PNF, is is a positive approach, looking positively about the patient, looking stuff which are good in our patients, and then making some dysfunctions better.
Yeah.
And
so,
yeah.
And, the interesting thing is that there is a connection in between all those features of PNF, right? So if we mention philosophy, the positive approach, we have to link it with the biopsychosocial approach of the functional approach by ICF. And we cannot think that ICF is actually one learning theory, that it's the learning with tasks, right?
Yes.
And then it's very much connected, and it gets much more simple once you understand this.
Yes, but if you want to make a task more efficient, you have to change some behavior first.
Yep.
That's the level of the function.
Yep.
So if you are, for example, if you only use quadriceps muscles, which is very common in orthopedic and neurological patients, then you have to spread this tonus in some other muscles to make the task more efficient. For example, in gluteus muscle, which are very often neglected muscles.
Sure.
Yeah, but I also wanted to say something about irradiation, which is one more feature of the PNF concept. And if we have difficulties to work with some body parts, and if it will not work directly and instantaneously, then we have the possibility to use body parts who are stronger and then irradiate it with some certain rules to the weaker body parts. And that's a big feature of the PNF that goes into the direction of the positive approach, because we don't force the patient to move a weak body part, or let's say part of the less motor control.
Uhum. Então, gente, o que a gente está falando aqui agora é como as características do PNF, principalmente da filosofia, elas acabam se misturando. O que parece no início um pouco complexo, mas depois fica muito simples. E a gente está falando aqui da irradiação, da abordagem positiva, de iniciar com partes fortes para partes fracas do corpo. A gente está falando sobre estratégias de abordagem baseada em tarefa, que é a CIF, que é a nossa abordagem funcional do PNF. Então, está tudo muito... Essas estratégias para aprender novas tarefas precisam, antes, ser precedidas de quebras de comportamentos, como, por exemplo, pacientes que ficam de pé só utilizando o quadríceps e não usam o glúteo, que está sendo negligenciado nessa tarefa. Então, aí nós temos muitas estratégias e elas todas vão se entrelaçando no sentido de planejar o tratamento dos pacientes de forma baseada na tarefa. Thanks, bro.
So let's turn the subject to the manual therapy a little bit, and let's say something about that, and then we will connect these two topics. Manual therapy treats orthopedic patients. So when we say manual therapy, it's about treating orthopedic patients with our hands. We can divide the complete education of manual therapy into two parts, and that's assessment and treatment planning, and then treatment, the same as in PNF, but the manual therapy has very specific and systematically approached assessment, which I like very much, because then you go through all structures and functions of the body parts that are in topic, and that means orthopedic dysfunctions. But on the other side, manual therapy don't emphasize so much on activities. So when you change something, then activity is assumed that it comes automatically.
So
Question mark.
this was actually one question. So manual therapy presumes that if you treat body functions and just leave the patient go, the patient can manage by itself. Is it?
Actually, this is exactly the notion of Vojta concept. They treat on the reflex, on the reflex level, and then they let the patient go, and they assume that the activity will come by itself. And that's the reason I just I cannot think in that way as a physical therapist. So, but I wouldn't say for manual therapy. Can you hear me?
Yes, sure.
Yeah, I wouldn't say for manual therapy that it's like that 100%. So there is one course in manual therapy. It's called rehabilitation training, and there it's a course for joint stability. You train their coordination. We talk about sensory inputs. So it comes into the direction of the PNF concept, but it's not. It's just one course. How would I say? So the emphasis of manual therapy and also in practice, it's in hands to mobilize joints or to relax muscles, to move nerves. It has emphasis also on rehabilitation, but not as much as in PNF.
Can you give me 1 minute?
Sure.
This is important to bring into Portuguese.
Sure.
Então, gente, o que o Sinisa está trazendo, e algumas coisas, são algumas questões muito legais. Então, dentro da terapia manual, principalmente da parte da ortopedia, existe mais um movimento para o tratamento das funções corporais e das estruturas. E no antigos conceitos da terapia manual, existia muito o pensamento de que se nós tratássemos as estruturas e as funções corporais, naturalmente o paciente recuperaria as atividades do dia a dia, em função dessas mudanças estruturais. O Sinisa está trazendo algumas questões importantes para a gente, como, por exemplo, hoje em dia não é tão assim mais, ainda é assim, mas, por exemplo, existe um curso específico sobre reabilitação e terapia manual, que envolve um pouco mais os conceitos de aprendizagem motor em nível de atividade, que nós estamos aí muito bem acostumados no PNF. Então, isso é importantíssimo ressaltar, e eu quero já traduzir antes uma pergunta que eu vou fazer para ele, se isso está mudando. Se a gente via que antigamente esse conceito, a terapia manual tinha mais esse conceito somente estrutural e funções corporais, e hoje em dia se vê aí uma mudança para atividades. So, Sinisa, I have already translated one question I have to you. Do you see that, like, on the old times, it was only structural or body function problems that were treated with manual therapy, and nowadays we see a transfer into activities, or it's still there, or it's gonna take a long time to change this concept of manual therapy, or is it changing fast? How do you see that?
So the emphasis in manual therapy is still on the body function. But it's changing. So they also realize that it's not enough, and you have to include training and the coordination and the motor control in the complete picture.
Nice.
That's the reason that nowadays, for a complete physiotherapist, I say you have to have two different concept in your brain and in your hands. That means biomechanical concept, which is a manual therapy concept on one side, and then which is a basic concept, and then neurophysiological concept as a PNF to combine this, to combine them. And if you manage, if you are good, skillful with both parts concept, that then you have the ability to be a complete physiotherapist and to look in our patients a little bit from a wider perspective.
Nice. May I translate this? This is really
Yeah.
important. Gente, o que o Sinisa está dizendo, então, nesse momento, é que na visão dele, isso está mudando, né? Então, a terapia manual vem se modificando mais para o nível das atividades e que, na visão dele, se nós formos fisioterapeutas com ambas valências, a valência manual, da terapia manual para melhora de estruturas e funções corporais, e a valência que nós temos dentro do PNF para o treinamento de atividades, bom, aí você é um terapeuta completo, né? Então, conseguindo melhorar ambos os níveis que nós temos aí dentro da CIF. Thanks, my friend. So, my friend, we still have 8 minutes. Do you think we can manage?
Yeah. I want to say one more thing, a feature of manual therapy. Why is it important so for example, when we treat joints, when we mobilize joints, we mobilize manual therapy with arthrokinematic movements, which is not a feature of PNF concept, for example.
Yeah, sure.
In PNF, we don't mobilize with arthrokinematic movements.
Yeah.
That means traction and gliding, or gliding. And if you use these arthrokinematic movements, they are less stressful for joints and for articular surfaces comparing to the osteokinematic movements. And this is a big feature of manual therapy, and I like to mobilize joints in that way in the spine or in extremities. And I use that, and my patients very often, they feel stretching of the capsular structure, but not pain in the joint.
And how do you use manual therapy in neurologic patients?
For example, if I have spasticity, then we have in manual therapy 5 different relaxation techniques.
Nice.
So in PNF, for example, we have 1 or 2 for sorry, but in manual therapy we have 5 different relaxation techniques, and then I use just to relax on a function level, to relax muscles and to reduce spasticity in that way. Nice. Yeah.
Nice.
This is just on a function level. I emphasize that.
And one question to you: have you taught any kind of workshop putting together PNF and manual therapy?
Not until now.
We need to think on it.
Yeah, sure. That would be a I think interesting topic, and how to combine it. So
can I tell you something?
Yeah, sure.
I was waiting to make you an official invitation to come down to Brazil and teach with me next year here in Porto Alegre.
Thank you very much. That would be an honor for me.
Yeah, sure. And so it's going to be so much fun. And then we can maybe manage to organize a workshop about that topic, manual therapy and PNF concept.
For example, you can, in the leg, in the hip, you can use traction and then apply some PNF pattern.
Sure.
Yeah, or you can use gliding with the belt and also apply some pattern together.
Nice.
Yeah.
At least a part of the pattern, then you have the control of the muscles, including the gliding and traction.
and the patient can give resistance. You can apply resistance. Yeah.
Yeah. Hello, my friend.
Leandro,
Hi.
can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Oh, now I see you. Can you see me? Hi.
Now I can hear you.
Okay.
Now I can see you.
Now we're good again.
Yeah. Okay, so I think that's mainly, if you have more questions, then I can answer some questions or so.
Okay, so what we're gonna do, Sinisa, is we're gonna upload this video to the Instagram as a publication of my profile, and then we're gonna put a collaboration with you. So every person that makes a comment or has any question, this person can be answered by you, by me, both of us.
Okay. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, sure.
So once more, can I just translate a little bit?
Sure.
What we were talking. Então, gente, a gente já vai finalizando, já estamos no finalzinho. Eu fiz um convite especial aí para o Sinisa, para o ano que vem a gente dividir um curso aqui no Brasil e ele trazer, quem sabe, um workshop sobre terapia manual e PNF, falando sobre essas duas valências dos dois conceitos, que são, na verdade, complementares. E já encerrando, então, eu agradeço mais uma vez ao Sinisa. Peço desculpa a vocês que estão escutando agora a gravação, porque nós tivemos vários problemas técnicos. Parece que existem algumas barreiras aí para fazer lives pelo Instagram, entre outros países, mas deu certo pela forma que a gente está fazendo. E quem sabe, então, se vocês desejarem, a gente convida de novo o Sinisa num futuro próximo para falar um pouquinho mais a respeito do tema. So I was talking that if they have lots of questions and they like the idea, maybe we can join another meeting in the future again to talk online about PNF and manual therapy.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. No problem. That would be very nice.
And then we're gonna meet in Frankfurt, right?
We are meeting next month.
1 month, right?
Yeah, almost 1 month.
Yeah, I pay you a beer.
and then my turn.
No problem. I agree and I accept it.
I'm looking forward to talk with you and just to hang around with you, relaxing. Last time we hanged around, it was not relaxing.
Over pressure.
It was way over pressured.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah,
I'm sure it was.
Yeah.
Thank you, my friend. I love you.
It was a pleasure, and I hope we will continue with similar professional meetings.
Let's keep in contact. We need
Yes.
we need to keep in contact and talk and spread what we do, because what we do is just a blast.
Next time, maybe we don't have to talk only in general about concepts, but we can pick some subject. We can explain some patients. I have been treating or treat really huge amount of patients, and I can give many examples in physiotherapy and rehabilitation.
Perfect. That's a good idea. 1 minute left, my friend. Love you.
Yeah. So are we finished or should we continue talking?
I need to stop the saving our talking, and it's gonna cut us because we are
okay.
40 minutes.
But we are finished.
Yeah, sure. Then we connect on WhatsApp again.
Yeah.
Love you. See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
All the best.